Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing the 6th recipe. They are the old-fashioned sugar cookies out of Joanna Flukes Murder Mystery Series. Chocolate Chip Cookie Murder is the first book. This recipe is mentioned a couple times in this book. She gives them to Luann to talk to her about her selling makeup. I can't remember the company, but it was like a Mary Kay kind of thing. There was lipstick on one of the cups at the high school. She tracked the lead to Luann, who sold the lipstick. So she brought these cookies for Luann and her daughter to talk to them about her products, which her bringing these cookies to Luann and the way she handled the whole situation really set up Luann's character for the rest of the series, because she is quite frequently a lot in the books. Hannah uses the cookies. She's at a party. I believe it was the Woodleys party. And the caterer asked her how she liked the cookies. Hannah gave her honest opinion and her card. The lady called. They set up a catering contract, which expanded Hannah's business. I can't really remember them having any other point in this book. I will say I have made these cookies before. They are really good. A couple of things. One of the ingredients is lemon zest. It's listed as optional. I have made these before with lemon zest, without lemon zest, and I think with lemon extract. They are good every way. So if you don't have it, you don't have to run to the store and zest a lemon. If you don't have a zester, same thing. There's other ways to do it. So let's get started. Here is the recipe in the book. It's just the 2 pages. I think my fingers are in the way. Here we go. Okay. So for the old-fashioned sugar cookies, it says do not preheat oven yet. Dough must chill before baking. 2 cups of melted butter, that's 4 sticks. 2 cups powdered sugar, not sifted. 1 cup of white sugar. 2 eggs. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. 1 teaspoon lemon zest, optional. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. 1 teaspoon cream of tartar, critical. 1 teaspoon salt, and 4 1/4 cups of flour, not sifted. It also says half a cup of white sugar in a small bowl for later, which you're going to roll your cookie dough in. Okay, so the instructions: you're going to melt the butter, add sugars and mix. Let cool to room temperature and mix in the eggs one at a time. Then add the vanilla, lemon zest, baking soda, cream of tartar, and salt. Mix well. Add flour in increments, mixing after each addition. Chill dough for at least 1 hour. Overnight is fine. I personally find that overnight makes it a little too cold and a little too hard, so you still have to let it sit at room temperature for a couple of minutes before you can scoop them. When you're ready to bake, preheat oven to 325 degrees and place rack in the middle of the oven. Use hands to roll dough in walnut-sized balls. Roll dough balls in a bowl of white sugar. Mix white sugar 2-to-1 with colored sugar for holidays. Green for St. Patty's Day, red and green for Christmas, multicolored for birthdays. Place on a greased cookie sheet, 12 to a standard sheet, flatten dough balls with a greased spatula. Bake at 325 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes. They should have a tinge of gold on the top. Cool on cookie sheet for 2 minutes, then remove to a cookie rack to finish cooling. They can be decorated with frosting piped from a pastry bag for special occasions or left just as they are. And then the anecdote at the bottom says, use these for the Quarrels fundraiser, decorated with music notes and fudge frosting. Rave reviews. So that is all it says for this one. We are going to get to the kitchen and get started. We'll see you guys there. Bye. So here is my melted butter. I just put it in my stand mixer bowl and put it in the microwave about 1.5 minutes. And then here are the rest of our ingredients all measured out and waiting. Okay, so we're just going to pop this guy on the mixer. And then it says to add the sugar, so that's both the powdered sugar and the granulated sugar. And then it just says to give them a mix. So this is after about 2 minutes. You can see there's no more oil or butter sitting on top. The color's uniform. Okay, so this does say to let it cool to room temperature, but I melted my butter quite a bit earlier, so it already is room temperature. So the next thing we're gonna add is, it says to mix in the eggs one at a time. So I'm just gonna plop one in, turn the mixer on, and then just keep an eye on it. And once you stop seeing stringy bits or egg yolks, I'm gonna drop in the next one. I'm not really sure why they say one at a time. I think it's something to do with how the sugar absorbs fat cells, maybe? It can only handle so much at one time. I heard that about something somewhere recently. I don't know. I love to bake. I don't know the science behind baking. Probably a terrible thing to say. Okay, so the next thing it says to do is add the vanilla, the lemon zest. Now, to get this teaspoon, I used an entire lemon, this guy, and it was just about a teaspoon. So I don't know why it says 1 lemon zested. It doesn't, it just says a teaspoon. I don't know, maybe I just had a really small lemon or a really big lemon. Don't you know? Okay, next is baking soda, not baking powder, baking soda this time. And then cream of tartar. Get in the bowl. And then salt. All right, and we mix. Okay, and now it says to add the flour in increments. So I'm just kind of gonna scoop up a cup of flour and dump it in. Now I'm gonna start it slow to avoid the flour cloud. And once it's decently mixed, I'll turn it up. Now, it is kind of creating a shelf in the bowl above the mixers. So what I'm gonna do is after it blends in, I'm gonna take a spatula and kind of try to push some of it down so it doesn't end up with too much up top not mixed in at the end. Okay. Next. Now, I've said in previous videos, I like to scrape down the beaters because sometimes you get clumps on them, and I like to make sure I don't get clumps at the end. And the next one. Now, keep in mind, this should be kind of looser than you would expect because it does chill for a while. I'll probably give it an hour because that's the least amount of time it says it recommends. Now, we've gotten to pretty much the bottom of the bowl. I'm just gonna dump the rest of it in. And we go again. Okay, so we've got it all mixed. What I'm gonna do now is just give it a final cleaning of the beaters and scraping down of the bowl. and then I will smooth it out, put plastic wrap on it, and pop it in the fridge. Ew. Now, if my kids were home, I would definitely give this to one of them and let them go at it. But they're at school. Thank gosh. I don't know how many parents are going to watch this thinking the exact same thing. It's about time. But, oy vey, my kids need social interaction. And time away from each other. I will say they have a better sibling relationship than I ever did with my brother. But they still have that sibling, too much time together. They will find something to fight about. I think literally the other day, one of them found a piece of trash on the van floor. I can't even remember what it was. It was probably a broken string or something, and they started playing with it. And then the other one decided that they wanted the string to play with. I don't even know why. That started like World War II. Keep in mind, my kids aren't little. They're not teenagers, but they're not babies. It blew my mind. But, okay. So, like I said, I'm just going to try to flatten this out a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. The flattening is just more my thing. It's not really a recommended book thing. So this is the final product. It's quite a bit. I know it'll make a lot. Normally when I make this for my family, I half it if I'm just making it to make it. So, okay. And I mean, covering it, super simple, plastic wrap. Cover on top. Now this will just go in the fridge for an hour, and I will see you guys back here. Bye-bye. Okay, it has been an hour. I have started to preheat the oven to 325. And now we are going to get the top off. You know, it's stiffer than it was. Now, like I said, I'm using these silicone mats, so I won't be greasing them. If you don't have those, spray it with like a non-stick spray. And I'm going to be using the scooper because that's my preference. So, it is soft. It's not ridiculously frozen. There you go. And then we're just gonna scoop that into the bowl of the sugar and flip it around. And we get this little ball. And like I said, 12 to a sheet. So I'm just going to do the rest of these and I'll show it to you and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've scooped them all up. We have 5 dozen. We're just shy of 5 dozen. We're missing this guy here. That's about 59 cookies. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the back of a flat spatula and just kind of push them down a little bit. It says to have it greased. I just, with all that sugar on top, don't think it's necessary. I'm also not 100% sure, since I scoop them instead of roll them, that it needs to be done, because I think it's only done so that they don't roll around on you. But with the flat bottom already, they're not gonna roll. So I'm not entirely sure, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So just flatten these guys down. Last bit. Okay, all done. So now they will go in the oven at 325 for 10 to 15 minutes. They should be just a little bit gold on top, and then they'll cool for 2 minutes on the cookie sheet, and then we'll put them on a wire rack. And I'm not gonna decorate them with any kind of frosting-y stuff. It says you can. if you want to make them fancy or if you're making them for a specific event or something. So we will see you guys when these are done in the oven. Till later. Here are the 59 cookies, I believe. You'll notice these littler ones, they didn't spread as much. These ones were baked on just the silicone sheets themselves, whereas these ones were baked on the metal trays with the silicone mats. Not sure why they had such a different reaction, but I'll pick one out and we will try it. So here is one of the first batches. It's got a nice little crust to it. It's hardened nicely because they come out really soft. Yeah. I love these cookies. They are so good. They're almost like potato chips. You can't eat just one. You really can't. So they're almost they're light and they're sweet. They're sort of refreshing in a way. It's not like watermelon on a hot day refreshing, but that lemon gives it a little zing in your mouth. Like I said, I've made these before. They've literally never given me any kind of a problem. They've always baked well. So, yeah, okay. Now, next week, we will be doing the last recipe out of this one. It is the lovely lemon bar cookies. And then we run into an issue. Now, my book does not have the Goodreads 1.5 Candy Cane Murder, which is in the back of some of the chocolate chip cookie murders books. My library does have it. So I have pictures I'll use for the videos for the Candy Cane Murder books. So, but that will be not next week, but the week after starting. So I will see you guys next week if you're interested in the lovely lemon bar cookies. Toodles!